Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Running with James. Today, we're gonna finish up our video series on how to HYROX better. Today, we're gonna be talking about lunges and wall balls. Come run with me.
Change your mind, change your life.
So lunges, so starting out with the lunges. Now lunges is going to be the 7th station in the HYROX movement. And by this time, you know, you're in the heat of battle and it's a race to the finish. And this is really gonna have to really push. And so the standard of this particular movement is your knee has to go to the ground. You're gonna have to stand back up and you have to alternate legs, okay? So it doesn't matter if you pause in the middle or if you just keep going step, step, step. The key is your knee has to touch the ground. You have to stand back up, you have to alternate legs, and you cannot put the bag down. So the bag has to stay up on your shoulders. If you drop it once, you get a warning. You drop it second time, you are literally disqualified from the event, right? So the lunges can be very challenging. Your legs are tired. HYROX is a very leg intensive workout. And so your legs are gonna be tired. They're gonna be exhausted by this time. So you wanna make sure that you're obviously doing very smooth and pace yourself throughout this event. So one of the things I like to think of is while you're doing your training, while you're practicing, figure out how many reps do you wanna take before you take a break, right? So don't just go until you get exhausted and then take a break and then go until you get exhausted, because what you'll find is you may do 20 or 30 the first time you go, and then you'll take a 20, 30-second break, and then you may do 10 the next time and take a 20 or 30-second break. So learning how to, okay, I'm gonna do 10 reps and I'm gonna break for 5 seconds. 10 reps, I'm gonna count to 3 and go. 15 reps, whatever you feel like you can do, and you figure that in training, right? So obviously, one of the key things you're gonna wanna do is do lunges to start with, right? So getting it up on your shoulders, you can use bags, obviously you can use dumbbells, kettlebells, whatever you're gonna do, but you wanna get in that kind of position you're gonna be in the race, where you're keeping your shoulders over your hips, ears over your shoulders, right? So you're going to just work on doing lunges. So lunging forward, stepping forward, and doing repetitions, long repetitions, so high volume is gonna be the key with this one. So on the event, you're gonna have to do 100 meters of lunges. And that's a long way to have to go when you're talking about lunges, right? So you're definitely gonna be burning out your quads and your glutes. So you also wanna make sure that as you are going down into that position, don't just push off of this front leg, right? So don't just step forward. You wanna use this back leg as well, and you wanna be stepping with both legs to kind of help be more efficient through that movement. So using a bag is a great idea. Using dumbbells, throwing them up on your shoulders, going front rack as well. So you're gonna be dependent on where the weight is on your body. It'll help focus on different particular muscle groups, but you wanna make sure that while you're doing it, you wanna practice everything. So be quad dominant. Use those glutes as well. Some great variations I like to use are doing kettlebell carries upstairs, climbing stairs, like going and finding bleachers, or if you have a stationary stair, you can do that in your gym. Obviously doing heavy lunges, so grabbing a bar, doing heavy lunges for shorter repetitions. Squats are a good thing to also help with. Obviously practicing with the sled push, that'll help you as well. And then I remember I went and did a training class one time, and I asked, because the thing I hate the most, guys, it's the lunges, I'm not gonna lie. It's the thing that I'm probably not the best at. Of all the events, like it's the least thing I'm the best at. That didn't make any sense the way I said that. But I asked the question, I was like, how can I get better at lunges? And they looked at me dead in my eyeballs, I kid you not, and said, do more lunges. And everybody at the class was staring at me like I was an idiot. And for me, I don't know why I thought that was a good question, but apparently all you gotta do is lunge. But here's what it comes down to, guys. You need to be able to strengthen those glutes. You wanna be able to strengthen those quads, because those are huge muscle groups. They use a lot of oxygen, and they're gonna be tired by the time you get to those lunges. So practicing things like climbing bleachers, doing heavy bleacher sets where you maybe have the bag on your shoulders and you're running up and down the bleachers, skipping steps, doing every other step. Doing lunges for extended periods of time. Maybe go to the track. We have Sunday Fun Day where we go out to the track and we'll do 200 meters of lunges or so, and then run. So work them into your compromised running workouts, but then make sure as well, I would probably make sure that I'm doing plenty of lunges multiple times a week, and then maybe sometimes going heavy and then sometimes going light to really work on that form. All right, guys, so this is it. You've run the entire race. you are at the last station. You are at the dreaded wall balls. By this time, you are gassed, but here's the deal. You are literally just feet away from the finish line, and this is where you got to give it your all. So the wall balls, basically for ladies, it's going to be 75 reps. For men, it's going to be 100 reps. Ladies ball is going to be 9 pounds. Men's ball is around 12 pounds, I believe. Pros goes up a little bit higher than that to men's 20 pounds, and then ladies is the men's 12, right? So one of the things that is going to be key is getting in good repetitions, right? So you want to make sure when you're doing those repetitions, the key is your hip crease has to be below your knee crease, right? So if you don't go low enough, it's a no rep, okay? So if you don't get those hips below your knees, it's no rep, okay? So they'll say also 90 degrees. The other key is the ball has to touch the line, right? So they'll actually have targets for the men, target for the ladies. Ladies' target is below the men's, and you'll have to hit those targets. If you miss the target, if you go too low, no rep. So the last thing you want to do is you do not want to do extra wall balls, okay? If you're trying to do 100 reps of wall balls, you don't want to be doing 120, 115 reps. If you're not getting low enough, they will bring a bucket out for you so that you can make contact with your butt to the bucket. So if you're someone who has a limited range of motion, maybe your hips are kind of tight, maybe you have ankle immobility, maybe you just haven't developed you haven't done it enough and you haven't been able to get low enough just yet, my suggestion is when you get to that station, straight up say, give me the bucket. I'm gonna need the bucket. That way you don't waste any repetitions. There's no place, in my opinion, for pride in sport. And so if you know your limitations, you go into it, you'll have a much funner time, and you'll have something to work on as you go through it, right? So don't try to be a beast and try to, force your way through 150 wall balls when you don't need to, right? So, but in the interim, to make sure that you're prepared and you practice, you're ready to go, working on hip mobility will be a big thing. Learning how to squat more efficiently will really help. Understanding how do I engage my glutes? How do I engage my quads effectively? So the key to start out with your wall balls while you're practicing them is first thing you want to do is make sure that the ball is pretty much right at your face, okay? So bottom of the ball about where your chin is, and your hands are going to be kind of just on the outside to the underneath portion, okay? So not under here, but not on the side. So kind of an in-between place, right? We want to keep it always at our chin. We don't want to ever have the ball come out in front of us, because if the ball's out here, we're going to be bending over. That's going to wear our back out. And then in addition to that, we're going to lose our momentum. So the key is to be in this position where we are able to squat and stand up, okay? So as we're standing, we want to extend that ball. So we squat, extend the ball, catch it on the way down. Squat, extend the ball, catch it on the way down. The goal is we have to get it to the line to get the repetition. So to be the most effective, we're going to make sure that we are close enough to the wall. We don't need to be way away from the wall. We want to be close enough to the wall. We're going to squat, extend, catch it on the way down. Squat, extend, catch it on the way down. Squat, extend, catch it on the way down. Up and down. That's the motion we want to be doing nonstop. That way we can get a rhythm. The ball's not taking over. So if we catch the ball in front of us, this is what's going to happen. Okay? So we don't want to let the ball get in front of us. We always want to make sure that we are underneath the ball. So just like with our lunges, burpees, all of the events we've done up to this point, one of the things that I've said over and over again is make sure you're pacing yourself. So if you have practiced, you're a monster and you can go 100 unbroken, go for it. It's the last event. If you can do it, go for it. But the goal is to get through it as fast as you can. So training is all about figuring out how do you pace yourself properly for your race. So learning, can I do 20 reps, take a 10-second break, and keep doing 20 reps at a time? Can I do 30 reps, 40 reps, whatever it is? Can I do 15 reps? Whatever those repetitions are where you can be consistent and keep moving and the breaks are not getting bigger and bigger and bigger, this will help you get through the movements much, much faster. So my very first race that I did, I was a doubles partner. We had no concept what it was going to be about. We went into the event, and when we got to the sled push, we were in last place, okay? Very last place, my partner and I. We kept trugging away. We kept killing it. We were being very consistent. We were pacing ourselves. We weren't like going gung-ho in the very beginning. By the time we got out of the rower, we were in second place, okay? And we didn't even know how to row. We sucked at the rowers. By the time we got out of the farmer carries, we were in first place, and we stayed in first place the entire rest of the race. Made it through the lunges, got to the wall balls, and we were getting faster and faster and faster. We got to the wall balls, weren't great at wall balls, but we could do wall balls. Got to the wall balls, second place team comes in about 10 seconds after us. we're throwing up wall balls. We're getting no rep left and right because we're not getting low enough. We're not throwing them high enough. We're switching out wrong. We're not transitioning great. I throw up 99 as the second place team throws up 100. They take off, I throw up 100, and it was a photo finish to the end. They beat us by like a half a second, right? So it was heartbreaking, right? It was our first race, so we were excited that we were able to place the way we did, but it was heartbreaking because we sucked at the wall balls. And the whole thing was we got no rep to bunch because we weren't going low enough or we weren't throwing the ball up, and because we didn't pace ourselves properly, right? Fast forward a year or so, and we race the exact same people. We go into the race, and pretty much we're leading the entire race. We get to the wall balls, and we were literally a minute faster on our wall balls overall than we were the very first time we did it. So the key is, number one is training and practice. Number two is learning how to pace yourself properly. So some things you can do to get better at the wall balls: doing thrusters where you get a dumbbell and you're squatting and pressing. That's one of the things we love to do. You can go a little bit heavier on that because you're not worried about throwing it. Doing heavy squats for low repetitions. One of the things we like when we go to the track, we do our Sunday Fun Day, we will do squats up the bleachers, right? So we'll step off a bleacher, we'll do a deep squat, and we'll just keep going. We'll hit every single step all the way up. We'll do multiple rounds of that. So doing high volume with maybe lower weights, then working your way into weighted squats, weighted thrusters, weighted wall balls, whatever it's gonna be, and really get that rhythm down, because it's really, wall balls is all about being in rhythm and being consistent. And if you can do that, you'll do a lot more repetitions and you'll be a lot faster, and you can cross that finish line faster than you thought possible. All right, guys, that is it for our How to HYROX Better video series. We hope you got something out of it. We hope you learned a lot. We hope that training is going great. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Let us know how you liked it. Comment down below maybe some of the things that you've been working on or the things that you're struggling with in HYROX. I know for me, when I first started, it was all about the lunges and those wall balls. That's what I struggled with the most. But the thing is that if you work on it, you can turn a weakness into a strength just like that. So guys, we hope to see you out. We're gonna be here in Houston at the HYROX here in Houston on March 16th. It's gonna be a great time, a crazy time. The entire BC Fit fam is gonna be out there. So if you see us, come say hello, come take a photo with us. If you don't have anybody to hang out with, come hang out with our crew. The BC Fit fam is an amazing group of people, and they love meeting new people just like you. So come out, train with us, come run with us every Sunday. We have the HYROX Run Club going down just on the northwest side of Houston. You can check out our website or our Instagram or Facebook page to check out more information on that. We run, we do compromise running, we do fitness. It's a great time, and you will learn a lot and be ready for your next HYROX event. So guys, remember, get out there, get training, try something new. And if you know this, if you haven't figured it out by now, you know now, if you can change your mind, you can change your life.